How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another Heavy Metal Diecast video review. Today we do have ourselves one here from Amercom. I bought this on eBay secondhand. It did actually arrive a little bit broken, so I have actually opened this up, as you can tell. Yep. To do a couple of repairs to fix it up so we can actually look at it. And that is just the backing plate that these do have on them. Now, this, as you see, is a Kamov Ka-25 Hormone. Very unusual name. This is a Soviet-made naval helicopter, of course, made from 1966 to 1975, with around 460 aircraft built in all variants. Entering service with the Russian Navy in 1968, I do believe. Its primary role was in the anti-submarine warfare, but would also perform some other tasks. Now, a number of the navies besides Russia also operated these aircraft in the 80s. The Ka-25 would eventually start to be replaced by the Ka-27 Helix. Now, of course, you do get a little stand, which looks pretty cool. It does have the Soviet Union on there. And that is the stand all made. In that bag also was the rotor blades that we need to affix to this sweet-looking aircraft. All right, time to get this out of the packet. It does have a reasonable weight to it, actually, which is really nice. All right, with this finally done, I could not do it on camera. I was going to try, but the blades were a nightmare to put on. The holes weren't big enough to slip on, like they were that little half moon sort of shapes. And of course, one of my blades had the opposite half moon, so it was going to go on the wrong way. So I had to sort of drill that out a little bit to fit it on. And of course, while I was doing that, the landing gear decided to collapse because it is really fragile for the weight of the model, although the model itself does not weigh that much. But it is worth it. It does present really nicely, as you can see. It's all white. It does look fantastic. There is no pilot figures or anything, but the rotors spin nicely. As I said, they were just a pain. There is a little bit of a seam through there if you're going to get a little bit upset. This does move a fair bit as well, so you can see the gap. You need to sort of re-glue that, I suppose, if you want to be a little bit happier. As I said, this did arrive to me also with a couple of broken components on it, which I had to glue on. But you're very limited with options for one of these aircraft, of course, so you've got to take what you can get. But I reckon overall, though, it does look very nice. Presents okay for what the aircraft is. I suppose we'll quickly chuck it on the scales and see what it does weigh, so at least you know how much metal you're getting in your model. Hopefully the landing gear won't collapse or anything, but it is, yep, there we go, 107 grams. So it is, not overly heavy, but it's not plastic light either. But I reckon it does present really well. Although I do have a Ka-29 Helix that does look a lot better than this one, and the build quality of the other one is better. I actually did the video on that years ago, but for those of you that are too lazy to look at that, that is the old one I did ages ago, and I reckon it does present really nice. Oh, jeez, it keeps coming off that bit, but this one does present really nicely as well. You can sort of see a size comparison between the two helicopters as well. This is slightly bigger. It is a lot more solid and a lot better built too, as models go. I reckon this beautiful Helix does set up nicely, and it did. But I reckon both these helicopters are very unique with the dual rotors. I reckon they do look sweet though, but I'll move this out of the way because it has had its time to shine. Although when I wasn't quite doing the best videos, I hopefully am doing videos that are of a half-decent quality now, and that people are happy to watch. And if you are happy with what you've watched today, some of those my way would be awesome as well. And always feel free to subscribe to the channel if you're watching and you haven't subscribed as yet. Now, of course, I will take some photos of this and throw them on at the end of the video. For those of you that like to have a look at some close-up photos without my sausage fingers all over it. Sausage finger test, it is, sits in the palm of the hand. It's not an overly large helicopter. But yeah, it is the cheapest sort of branding. You will see, little issues with it, like especially with the seam lines through there. You can even see in the front where the glass of the cockpit is, there's a little bit of a seam line there. Depending on your fuss level, if you'll be happy with it. If you're not happy with it, you don't really have any other options. As I said, you do get that stand, so if you do want to put it on the stand as well, which may be a better option, that is the stand option for you that's in flight. So it'll definitely save your landing gear. But anyway, I've waffled on enough. I hope you have enjoyed this Kamov Ka-25 Hormone from Amercom. And of course, thank you, the viewer, for dropping past and checking out another of my videos. I hope you did enjoy what you saw. Thanks for watching, and you all have an awesome rest of your day. Cheers, everyone.